values are the most important thing that any business, any personal brand, any life should be guided by. Because if you don't know what your values are, how can you make decisions? What are the decisions based on? And this is, like, in my opinion, this is the first step in self-awareness, is to clarify your values, because that's gonna make everything else so much easier. So let's first define what values actually mean. By Google, the definition as a plural noun, a person's principles or standards of behavior, one's judgment of what is important in life. For me, this is kind of like a no-brainer, that this is the thing that you should be taught in school. This is the most important thing you need to know in your life. And once you get the values clear, everything else gets easier. Okay? My values are honesty, family, ethicality, freedom, flexibility, and braveness. And these values aren't set in stone. These are the guiding principles that I've now set up for myself, and they're probably gonna evolve in the future and slightly change, but I know what my core is, and that makes everything a lot easier. And just to give you an example of different values and companies that lead with values, is, let's take, for example, McDonald's. From the top of my head, it's like, okay, McDonald's, they want to be accessible to everybody. They want to have cheap and tasteful food, not healthy. So the people that are guided by cheap and tasteful are the people who are gonna go to McDonald's. Compared to, let's say, I think Whole Foods is a store in the US, and there's, like, here in Bali, we have a store called Bali Buddha that's like more of the healthy stuff and the natural stuff. And it's more expensive, but people who go there are willing to pay because of the similar values that resonate, because you want to be healthy, you want to feel good. And of course, the taste is also there, but it's not the top priority to have this carbohydrate, fat, and salt combination that's just gonna blow your mind with dopamine and all other neurochemicals because it tastes so good, but after a while, you just feel shit. And if you keep on doing that for many years, you're gonna just ruin your health. So that's the most simple example of why values are so important. And values, they can be a differentiator. They can be your positioning in the market, whatever you choose to go for. And you might wonder, okay, but what are values? Like the actual words. And I've made a list. I've compiled a list of values that you can see right now. And these includes like authenticity, authority, balance, beauty, compassion, competence, creativity, curiosity, fame, friendship, fun, growth, humor, influence, and so on. There's a lot of different things you can play around with, and defining your values is not gonna be I'll just sit down one time and just write them down. I have them back in my head. It's a process. It's a process of becoming self-aware and what you actually want to do. And I honestly think that most people don't want to define their values because they don't actually know what they stand for. They're kind of afraid to take a stance, and it's just easier to be one of the masses. I'll just see what the media says and maybe I'll follow along what they say and I'll just be safe, right? I say that's bullshit. Like, once you define your values and you stand for it, you're gonna create fans, and you're also gonna create enemies, because those people who don't agree with your values, they are not gonna like you, but that's part of the game. And if you ever want to be successful and you want to build something impactful, you have to take a stance. That's the only way. If you try to please everyone, you're gonna end up pleasing no one, and that's just the bottom line. So what I suggest is that you start journaling and you start thinking and wondering about, okay, what are my values? And when you next time, when you're up for a decision and you need to choose something, think about it. Is this aligned with my values? Is this taking me forward towards my dream and what I want to represent in the world? And when you take a stance and you want to represent something, let's say the healthy food, and you kind of vote with your money because you don't go to McDonald's and you put your money into something else, that something else will grow bigger and that will take a share out of the unhealthy stuff. And this is the only way we can really make a change in the world, by defining what we really want to support, what we want to stand for and work towards. And essentially in branding and personal branding, this is the core. This is the why. And for me, it's like, it's so clear that you need to have values and you need to lead with values, but it's like, it's ridiculous how many people, and especially like entrepreneurs, they kind of skip this step because they're like, yeah, I'm just about making money. Okay, then your value is basically just making money by any means, but that also means that you may do all kinds of sketchy stuff and you go down a road that you necessarily don't want, and once you realize that, you're just too far away and you can just kind of ruin everything. So start with values and dig deep inside what you really want and treat it as a process. They're gonna change. Like, if you're now a person without a family and children, you're gonna have totally different values than when you start to raise children and you have a family and you have all kinds of obligations. And that's totally fine. And we're, as humans, we're meant to evolve and we're meant to change. And that's the fun part, I think. So the values are the most important. And I can even share a story from a company I started with my partner. It was a meditation company, and we thought that, yeah, meditation, that's kind of for everyone, right? So let's just go with whatever and try to do a business that's suitable for everyone. Well, that didn't end up so well, and we decided to kind of switch up the whole company structure, and I kind of exited it, and my partner kept on going by her own and in her own style, and now she leads with her values, and it's actually working out so much better than it did when we kind of were like, yeah, we're gonna just save the world and make a positive impact and yeah, whatever. But if you're not specific and if you don't dare to be specific, nobody's gonna be like wow, that's so cool, because once you choose your values, you're gonna attract similar people that have similar values, and that's how you form bonds. And even from like the sports world and people who binge watch, like, let's say like football or any other sport, if you have the same team that you're rooting for, you have a connection, and you're like, yeah, you're my bro, let's go, we have the similar value, we root for this team. So I'm just trying to give you like some food for thought, that the values are actually the things that rule almost everything we do in life. Okay? So what I want you to do is make a list of all the values that are important to you. And I'll put the list up here, and just make it quick and choose, let's say, 10 of them. And start thinking about it. Okay, how deeply, like, is this a priority value? Is this like a core value? And once you do this, let's say for a week, you're gonna have so much more clarity on what you wanna do with your brand and your business and your life. Like, if your partner have totally different values, I think there needs to be a discussion of, okay, how can we solve this problem? Or if you work a job that has totally different values that you want to represent, ask yourself, why are you working there? Because of money? I guess that you can find another job that has better values, and once you start going down that path, you're gonna start feeling so much better, because you're essentially aligning yourself with your core and your values that are close to your heart. Okay? So do this exercise and comment what kind of values you have and how you feel about creating this value list. Okay? And if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out for me on X, on Twitter. And yeah, have a nice day and stay cool. See you tomorrow. Peace out.